It's October 18th, 2022, and Sue and I are on our way to the Las Vegas Motor Speedway to film the National Hot Rod Association drag racing that's happening, and we're going to show you what it's like to dry camp in their parking area and attend an event like this. Make sure you subscribe and hit the notification bell so you don't miss that exciting time we had there. But we were in the Arizona area camping for a week or so, and we could see that we were going to be driving by the Surprise Arizona National Indoor RV Center, so we thought, what the heck, let's check it out. The last time we were here, they were in their old facility and we had some repairs done. Thankfully, this time is just going to be a visit to check out their new facility. What you're seeing here is me backing up on the temporary driving surface that they have in their camper lot, where they provide a 50 amp service while you're waiting for your rig to be repaired, or if you drop it off and it needs to be plugged in. This video is going to show you the depth of capability that virtually all the National Indoor RV Centers have to be able to do their repairs. Little did we know at this time that we had in the cards for us our Oasis diesel boiler system was just about ready to give up the ghost, and we got a chance to test to see the capabilities of them to jump into action, to be able to order it, ship it in, and swap it out and get us back on the road in our house, because after all, we are full-time RV, and I'm happy to report it turned out great. Future episode coming up. Stay tuned. We're at National Indoor in Surprise, Arizona. As you can see, this is a relatively new facility that's been repurposed. I think this was some type of a giant solar business, and when that business moved on, National Indoor snapped up this place. Now, we're on our way to Las Vegas Motor Speedway. We're going to be doing a video that shows a day in the life, or a number of days in the life, of an RVer when they visit something like a drag race that's at the Las Vegas Motor Speedway, and we're really looking forward to that. But what does a person do when they get there a few days early? Well, of course, you visit the National RV Service Center that they have there. That just shows you how many different places they have spread out throughout the country, and if I can find something, I'll put a map up and show you the different places that they have. Now, if this was not a visit where we're just going to take a look at this place and we were actually having service, I would probably do the same thing, where I would just pick a spot out in the service area here, and I would count on the fact that when I go talk to my service writer, assuming I have an appointment, they would come out and scan my coach, and they would have all of the particulars and all of the different things that we've had done service-wise in the past. We called ahead so we could have the cook's tour and get some behind the scenes video to show you guys what this place is all about. And as we waited here, you can see that Sue has found a little pamphlet on the AIM Club. We're actually members of that. They have all sorts of different rallies that you can go to. We've covered that in a past video. You can get all sorts of work done at those rallies, so that's certainly something that you're going to want to check into if you're a coach owner. When we showed up, Andre Gonzalez was assigned to take us around on our tour, and we felt like we had won the lottery, because he's the paint and body shop manager, and that's really the business end on this operation that we'll get to later. What we're walking through now is some storage areas, and he talked about these electric drops that are strategically located from the ceiling. I called to make certain that I was not telling you something that's not true. Apparently all these drops are 50 amp drops, and it's not that you're going to be cooking in there, but they want to make sure that your plug fits up with no fooling around. If you do have a smaller rig that you're storing there, you would just use a dog bone and you'd be all set. Off to the right here is the general house repair and maintenance area. You can see in the back that there's a big diesel coach on a lift. That is some chassis work, I'm sure, that's being done.
And I have a paint booth in the far right area there, and we do shuffle paint jobs. We do a lot of spot jobs on the outside, so we can paint them, bake them, bring them back in, sand buff. So we do everything from your typical scrapes on maybe a wall or a pole to tire blowouts, which are very common, especially the front tire blowouts. And I actually have one right now, and the gentleman is actually considering RETTROBANDs now because the damage was so bad that the front fender on the passenger side blew out. The tire actually hit up on the bottom floor of the floor and actually cracked all the tiles. Tiles are no longer available to 17, 18.
Yeah.
And so now we're looking to refloor the entire coach because insurance wants to make sure the customer's taken care of, and the customer wants a matching coach. This fender shattered.
Okay, so
completely separated.
So this was just a front tire blowout, no RETTROBAND.
No RETTROBAND.
Was there a tire band?
Nothing.
Nothing.
So, customers aware now of what the opportunity is, which is a RETTROBAND could have minimized this substantially, especially with our new YouTube video we have. Watch your step. Right in here, that floor blew out from that tire slapping up on the bottom side. Shattered, I think, up to 7 tiles.
Oh my God.
And that was, I truly believe with the RETTROBANDs, that would have not allowed this to happen. Minimized it to an extent where the customer would have felt happier with what had happened. But this all has to come out just to repair the floor now.
Yeah, I don't think a lot of people know that the damage can translate into the interior. Yeah, I mean, that's an expensive. That's another $4,000 worth of repair.
Yeah.
Or is it more?
Was the chair damaged at all?
Chair, we've been fortunate. We had to take it off just to get access to it.
Yeah.
But all the electronics and everything, we have to make sure they work and operate properly. We had some loose wires come out from the bottom side. We had a docking light. There's a fuel bezel, fuel fill station right there. So that was damaged as well. So yeah, quite a bit, quite extensive. And again, preventable to an extent. That's what it looked like. And obviously a tire's on there now, but nothing too crazy. And the thing was, you look at it and you just see this was gone, this was damaged. But the extent of interior damage that you would never expect from a tire blowout is truly why I think these RETTROBANDs are not only a peace of mind, but an insurance for preventing a much more worse scenario.
So my question is, how bad was the accident? Did they have control? Did they lose it, go off the road?
When I talked to the customer, first thing I said was, wow, did you have RETTROBANDs? He didn't have them.
Yeah.
His wife was actually in the passenger seat, and it scared her because she was right there within
she felt the vibration, I'm sure.
It was a bang, 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 bang.
I believe he was lucky enough that he didn't have people left and right of him. He was able to move over.
Okay.
But all I can think about is how much safer he would have felt knowing that he wasn't straight down on rim. He was on a RETTROBAND to help absorb that. And again, I think it would have really minimized how much tire would have slapped because it wouldn't have torn it apart to my knowledge. And the video I saw we have of the RETTROBAND with Rhett in it, phenomenal. Night and day difference of what truly can happen and how you can prevent that. 12 to 1 o'clock is that kind of No, not at all. I take it. No, you're good.
So when this place started out, Brett and whoever shows up here and they're gonna, hey, this is the place for us.
Sure.
Did they immediately concentrate on setting up storage and get that up and running, or were they simultaneously trying to get this going so that when people come in, they can start doing some minor and then get to
Gotcha.
be sort of
So-
major?
I believe it all was at the same time. Inception was you're going to store them, you're going to have to service them, you're going to have to repair them.
Yeah.
Right,
So
yeah.
you're telling me that what's the recommended time that a customer tells you, and then they literally just fill out an app that say, I'm going to be here this day, this time, and I screwed up. I need you to fuel it, and I need water in it, and my tank's dumped. You will do all that?
Yeah. So that's what we're here for, is making it as easy as possible, ownership as possible.
Mm-hmm.
We actually have a departure area, so we'll hook you up in the morning of the day you're leaving.
Yeah.
Have the ACs running nice and cool, have your fridge running, because you got to load it up, right? You got to get ready
Yeah.
for your trip.
Yeah.
We want to make it as easy as possible. We fill the water, we get your airs checked, make sure they're good, fuel we can. Anything you need, that's kind of the business we're in. It's just whatever you need, we're here to help.
Yeah.
I think the notice is maybe 2 days a day.
Yeah.
Nothing.
I was just going to ask,
Crazy.
how do they let you know?
So
Do you
we
need
have a
1
couple-
to 2 days?
We have a website application. We have an app for our customers as well. They can notify us that way. I get an email for every departure we have and every arrival. It's awesome to see, because then you get familiar with the names. You get to see who's coming with
Yeah.
what they're requiring, what they need done. It happens. People either can pull a wall, and it depends on how bad the paint is or how bad the crack is. And in this case, it's just such a thin part that glassing over, you wouldn't be able to warranty that if you were to damage it or if it just cracks later down the road.
There's such a small section there.
So we'll kind of show you. This is what your most motor
Here's the
look
painting
like if
area.
You don't have a cap on the back.
Yeah.
And it's kind of unique, and so that is what is behind it. And we're working on the compartment doors as well as other things. You have to actually make it look like it was there from the factory, so that's what we get to do.
Yeah.
And it came out pretty good. We just got it out of the booth, so it still needs to be color sanded and buffed.
Yeah.
Full time, they're thinking full time is 20 to 30% of their customers here. Don't quote him on that.
Wow, is this something that, is this the way Newmar does it, or is this the way you guys do it?
This is how anything paint-wise, if it's on automotive or not, it's a safety precaution. As well as we have triggers. So once we lock it and bake it, you can't open it, you can't do anything.
Does Integra use Sicken paint too?
Sickens uses Integra, and Newmar uses a mixture between. So it just depends on the year, what model. But yeah, we have Sickens, BASF. There's companies out there like Diamond as well, and we can get that paint whenever we need to.
Yeah.
So, yeah, the best thing is to get the exact brand of paint to make it match.
Wow.
And through time, age, paint changes a little, so you have to actually tint for that.
Where's the computer that mixes it?
There's 2 computer scales there, but we actually have them right on this back side. Each paint mixer has a different computer, so we use them to get our colors. We actually have cameras as well. Cameras are going to be the best way to get the most accurate color now. We'll get a paint code that'll be maybe from 2017.
Yeah.
And you can tint down from there or tint up, but the thing is having a camera that actually takes a photo of the depth, the metallics, the flop on a paint will help us get a lot closer.
Is that portable? You can go take a picture and
it'll bring it back. Yeah.
It'll show you how it's made.
Yeah, so I got a camera here for this brand, and then I've got a smaller camera for the Sickens, and what we'll do is we'll do a prep station. And typically, if you're painting a door, you want to get the paint right next to it versus getting a camera shot somewhere else, because the sun does different things to the paint.
So then does it just tell you the
formula?
The fluid ounce formula, and then you go in there and you don't have a machine that mixes it.
We still manually do it. You got to drop it in, it tells you how much.
Wow.
Then from there, you don't stop. You don't just call it a day and spray on a gorgeous coach. You still want to spray on a card. We have these little cards.
God.
Then we let it dry. Then we put it next to it, and we make sure, does that look right?
Yeah.
So it's the human aspect still.
So if you mix it and you spray it, how long do you have to wait for it? You dry it with a hairdryer?
No, you just let it dry manually. Our paint's fairly quick drying.
Wow.
We have a quick clear.
Okay, so this channel's all about honesty. Look at my face and look at how all of a sudden I'm not listening to Andre. And it's because I was just dumbfounded by this guy's toolbox and his refrigerator inside his snap-on cabinet and, the big rolling cabinets. And I have to tell you that most of the mechanics have stuff, as extravagant or close. And that's the type of personnel you want to attract when you're doing something like this new air repair that just happens to be in the paint booth right now. And, I'm not smart enough to know what's actually being done there. Here's a different angle for us to look at the chassis lifting mechanism so that they can get in there and do the job the right way by standing up and being comfortable enough that they can concentrate on doing what they're needed to do. But I want you to watch my face when my jaw opens up here when Andre is talking about what this job is, where they had removed the linoleum from the coach that's in front of the linoleum here, and they had to take it out all in one piece and not rip it and not lose track of what's what, because in fact they were going to drape it over the new piece and use the old piece as a template and go in and make it look as good as it did when it was brand new. And God only knows how they damaged it, but they were certainly happy to find a place like National Indoor that could do the job. It's extremely important that any RV shop that you go to has a dedicated parts department with a group of professionals in there that can logistically work with getting parts shipped into you on time and sometimes overnight, so that your repair isn't stopping and starting every few days.
All right, so across they're building for more storage, pushing for about 450 spaces. And they're going to expand this building to have more service bays and give up a little bit of the storage. But they are a growing business, and right beyond us is some vacant land they are hoping to nab. Talk about a growing business.
So we're at the National Indoor Service Facility in Surprise, Arizona. And in back of me here is the building and service center, storage center, and washing service. The four pillars of their business: sales, service, storage, and wash. And I believe they can store about nominally 350 units here, but then they've got a plan that they're going to eventually have like 12 service bays, and they've got paint booths and all sorts of things that we'll show shortly. But they've already run out of room in this place storing coaches for their customers that, you know, when you spend enough money on something like this, you want to keep it out of the sun. You want to typically keep it plugged in so at a moment's notice you can take off. You don't want to necessarily throw your ketchup away all the time. So why not pay, you know, $450 a month or whatever it is? Because ketchup is expensive. But in the back here, what they're working on now is this is going to be a storage facility add-on to this facility. And this is going to be able to store maybe as many as 450 coaches. So the hope is for them to get up to the ability to store about 800 coaches, so that all of these customers can have the whole experience where they get the call, hey, get my rig out, I'm going to XYZ. And you fill out a form apparently on the internet, and they'll move your rig, put it outside, plug it in, get your refrigerator up and running. You can go on your trip, and when you come back, if something needed service, you had a problem, something didn't work right, you needed improvement, or even just regular maintenance, you can drop it off and say, hey, I need it ready by this time, squirrel it away for me, I can't wait to get out there again. Now, for people like me and Sue, we're never storing our rig. So we always need to be able to live in it within reasonable expectations. And we had a wonderful tour given to us by Andre. He's the Andre, the paint and body manager. And I asked him off camera, I didn't prompt him, and I said, hey, you know how sometimes people fabricate their particular problem and want you to take care of them at a moment's notice because they're special. I said, but the reality is that somebody like Sue and I, very quickly we could have a calamity. We actually almost just had that. Last week, all of a sudden, our Oasis started leaking diesel fuel coming out of the exhaust after the exhaust pipe exit to our rig. It wasn't coming out of the pipe, it was coming out of the hole in the body where the pipe came out. And it's a little exciting when diesel fuel is leaking out of your rig. Now, ultimately, I think I fixed it myself. But I asked Andre, I said, hey, if I had called you and said, hey, I'm full-time, I'll be SOL if I don't get this fixed. I have nowhere to stay other than this. Can you fit me in, even though you're very, very, very busy here? Obviously, by all of the coaches that you saw when we were first starting this segment, there's got to be 20 coaches in the parking lot, that have repair tags on them. And he looked me in the eye, and I believe him with all sincerity. He said, we would try to help you. He says, because that's the right thing to do. And I can't tell you how many times I've heard that from employees at National Indoor. So once again, I'm not telling you to abuse the system, but I'm telling you this place understands what it's like when you choose to have something that you're going to travel either full-time or most time in, and they understand that things happen, and you can't be, a genius to schedule everything and not have the surprise repair happen. And what a better place to have a surprise repair than Surprise Arizona. So we're on the north end of the building right now. We're trying to talk quick because they're doing a wash job over there with a pressure washer. But this face is the north face of the building. We're going to walk down to the service area. But you see there's the Chan man and Sue. We picked out lucky spot number 13. We're plugged in. So one thing that you immediately need to know about this place is that this is not a building that was rented. This is a building that National Indoor owns now. And you can see that they have poured a ton of dough in this place, retrofitting it so that they can not only make money, because that's, what we all do, to be able to, have our lives, but this place is building itself so that it can take care of its customers. And you look at this highly specialized paint booth that can take any motorhome that's currently on the road and drive it in there and shut the doors so that you can have the picture perfect environment that you need to have the high gloss, super expensive finishes that all of these motorhomes have. You could say, well, they're always being worked on. What fun is it RVing? That's not how it works. The volume of people that are involved in this hobby, the volume of people that are deciding to sometime or full-time and have their travel dreams come true has just exploded. And to keep these things warranted and to keep them serviced, you just need a lot of facilities. And these vehicles are all so big and so specialized that real quickly the capacity for the people that are macho enough to be able to work on this stuff, all that capacity gets sucked up. So that's the beauty of National Indoor coming up with all these facilities, currently having 6 facilities US wide to work on this stuff. Let's see if we can name them off again, honey. We got Dallas, we got Phoenix, Surprise, Arizona, we got Las Vegas, we got Atlanta, we've got Tennessee and Virginia. Yeah. Okay. So hopefully, Sue, did you take a picture of that tile, that linoleum when it was laid out? So now they rolled it up like a piece of salami and they're feeding it through the window. That pattern, now they've got to put it in there. And I think the reason we were so fascinated by that when we were given our tour by Andre was that that's the type of job a lot of places will shy away from, because it's extremely labor intensive, and it's the type of job that you can be 95% done with it, and then you make a couple of mistakes or a couple of misjudgments and the thing starts going sour. So you got to be a man to step up to a job like that, and they're able to do that. In the background here you can see that There's an oil change and some regular maintenance work being done. And rather than having the guy rolling around in a creeper on the ground at your average run-of-the-mill RV place, this place chooses to have these lifts so you can put it in the air and actually work on it at a normal height. So I want to show you the depth of knowledge this place must have for their technicians. Right in back of me, there's a guy working on a Winnebago Travato. But then right next to it is an Odyssey Integra that they're working on. You've got a Tiffin Allegro bus, second from the top of the line in the whole Tiffin program. You got a Greyhawk Prestige here. You got a Thor Palazzo in the background. I'm looking in the parking lot in back of me. There's American coaches. I mean, it is amazing the amount and the depth of tech skill that they need to work here. Because on any given day, when you show up for work, it's like, okay, today we're working on fill in the blank. Here's a great shot. I'm standing in the corner of the body shop, and this is that paint matching machine that we were talking about, when it analyzes the color that you take with a special camera that they have. And you can see that they're literally working on 2 coaches per bay. So you got about 6 coaches that are being prepped and worked on. Yep, this is storage heaven. So if you could talk to these motorhomes, they're really, really happy because there aren't any rodents that they have to worry about. They're not in the scorching sun. They're hooked up to ultra reliable 30 amp service. Nice level floor. I mean, what more could a motorhome ask for except, well, possibly being named Myles and part of the OGEM channel. We folded up, we're all ready to go, and I want to show you a little pro tip over here. Even though we're all set, ready to go, we want to leave the air conditioning running because we don't know how long it's going to take to go find the dump station. So I'm going to leave those doors open so that when I look in my mirror and I'm ready to roar out of here, I remember to unplug, because trust me, the day that you make that mistake, it's going to be $3,000 to fix it, maybe $4,000. All right, let's go check, honey. We want to thank everybody that showed up for our episode this Sunday and invite you to subscribe and ring the notification bell so you don't miss out on some of the upcoming episodes, such as the NHRA drag racing event that we attended in the RV dry camping lot. That was an awesome time for us, and we'll show you how we did it. But the Big Daddy episode that will be coming up is when we show you how things worked out on our emergency repair at the Las Vegas National Indoor RV Center to get our diesel hydronic boiler system replaced.
In 1/4 mile, turn right on North Dyson Road.
They're going to town here.
They are. They're really moving.